Good morning everyone. Today really special day because Dr. Tina Amelia, Dr. Evita Isretno Ishardi and Dr. Hidayati will be present our article in International Conference Changing of Law in the Digital area from exactly we are from the Borobudur University, but this international conference supported by Trisakti University, we want talking about the harmonizing consumer protection law, e-commerce as challenge and opportunity for global business. The research background is the development of information technology creates a global business information with the existences of the e-commerce transaction. The existences of the e-commerce creates challenge and opportunity for global business. The existences that makes the role of consumer in the development of e-commerce in Indonesia. By all things they are talking about, so we need to arrange regarding consumer protection have been regulated in the Indonesian positive law, but still need to improve with the existences of the e-commerce, which is a main problem in this research. The research method, the type of the research, we make the doctrinal legal research, also known as a normative legal research, and the type of research data, we use a secondary data with literature studies. About the result and discussion, the first, we can talk that e-commerce has broken barriers to the traditional way interaction between business entity and consumer, and there are so regulation for e-commerce transaction in Indonesia regulation. You can see on the regulation that are talk in the PowerPoint on the article on the consumer protection number and Indonesia Act number and the Indonesian government regulation number regulated alternative dispute resolution in electronic transaction. So however, this regulation do not regulate more detail regarding consumer protection in e-commerce transaction, even so a lot of the regulation. So by that result and discussion, so we can talking about next the consumer protection. So we need vary the urgency of the implementation of the harmonization for consumer protection in digital business, that ideally it will be simple for all countries within a region to adopt to same law uniformly. Legal harmonization talk about the process of aligning and unifying the legal system. And then in this research, consumer protection involve the Indonesian regulation of transaction in e-commerce. So there are many concerns about the data protection and privacy and e-commerce, such as information ownership, pieces of the information right control and security. Those concerns can be lead to cybercrime in e-commerce. So and in the online environment like e-commerce, consumer can be more susceptible to harm for the purchases of the unsafe of otherwise prohibited product. So the harmonization of consumer protection law in Indonesia can be implicated in preventing to cybercrime and consumer data and the other criminal activities. Harmonization of the consumer protection law could also enable e-commerce to prosper. So the conclusion about we're talking about the consumer law. So based on discussion and analysis, establishing global business call for an e-commerce system worldwide, especially in Indonesia. Indonesia has regulated an e-commerce transaction under the Indonesia Customer Protection Act atau in Indonesia called UUPK, and the Indonesia Information and Electronic Transaction or ITE. However, both of the legal instrument must provide adequate protection from the consumers engaging in e-commerce transactions. One approach to ensuring legal certainty and protection for e-commerce consumer is developing a model of the e-commerce which aim for a legal harmonization from the customer protection. And the recommendation from us is based on the conclusion. It is very recommended that the Indonesia government establish legal harmonization regarding consumer protection and e-commerce transaction, because that should be priorities consumer right to ensure legal certainty. Okay, thank you for your attention, and hopefully we can meet in another conference. Thank you from us.